Okay, Chairperson Newman, we have quorum. Today's meeting date is November 12th, and this is the Santa Monica Public Library Board meeting, for the record.
I know it's weird to come on Wednesday.
Yeah. We'll officially call the meeting to order at 6:03. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Our first item is the roll call.
Great. Chairperson Newman?
Here.
Vice Chair Lynn is absent for the record. Member Meister?
Here.
Member Cody?
Here.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Member Spears?
Here.
Wonderful. Okay. We don't have any members of the public here this evening, so we will move on to our consent calendar and the approval of the minutes from the October 16th meeting. Which are attached here.
I move approval.
Second?
Wonderful. So we will take a vote on the approval of the October 16th minutes. Member Meister moved to approve, seconded by Member Cody. And I will now conduct a roll call vote. Chairperson Newman?
Yes.
Member Meister? Sorry, you guys got
Yes, sorry.
Member Cody?
Yes.
And Member Spears?
Yes.
The motion carries 4-0. Thank you all. The minutes are approved.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda, as there's no other public input, would be our updated collection development policy. And we have two of our librarians here to talk about that.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Greco Venegas. I'm the Principal Librarian of Collections, Technology, and Patron Services. We just call it CTAPS. And I'm here with Stephanie Archer, Librarian 3 in CTAPS. So, in your packet, you should have a larger packet than normal with about a 30-page document in there. So it's a lot to cover. We won't go into every single detail, but I want to kind of give you an overview of the collection development policy and plan. So just in terms of the overall as we talk about this during this meeting, I'll kind of go over the different sections of the plan and policy and kind of how we got started with it and where we're at. And we do have a request for you at the end of this, of course. So we'll get started with it. In terms of the overview and purpose of the plan, so the collection development plan, we developed this as part of looking at a couple of things. One is we wanted to have a framework of how we do things. In a lot of ways it's documenting what we're already doing, so things that we've been talking about, gathering various documents in files and folders that we have and putting them together into one complete document. We also wanted to in terms of the plan, the part of it is the goals and thinking about what are we doing. So a big part of it was kind of talking about, what are our plans moving forward with different collection areas. We're always, having conversations about what we are thinking about doing with collections. What are some of the trends? What's happening with certain collections? A lot of changes happen every single year, so kind of looking at documenting all those different conversations. The plan is also just a guide it's also a guide of all the things that we're doing. It's all the collection development we do, the weeding, the gift policy. There's a lot of policies that are involved, so kind of getting it all into one big document. So as we go through this presentation, I do want to encourage you to look through your document there, and if you have any questions, we can definitely make it conversational. Feel free to ask in between. There's a lot to cover, so we're happy to answer along the way as well. So I would say the big part of this plan is kind of grouping together the different goals that we have as a library. The first goal is champion intellectual freedom with a freely accessible collection for all Santa Monicans. One of the things that we've been seeing, a pattern that we've been seeing the past couple of years with the political climate is, wanting to ban books, wanting to censor, something we kind of, as librarians, thought that was way in the past, but it seems to be coming back again. So this goal, and if you look through page, I think it's page 9 through 13, is about, we'll have different action items there. It's about things that will help keep and also reflect the values of keeping things really accessible for all Santa Monicans. And as an example, one of the requests, one of the things that we're doing as part of this plan is updating our collection development policy to comply with the state's Freedom to Read Act. So we'll take a look at that a little later, but there's a lot we can do there. We also look at celebrating different collections, banned books month. So you'll see different items related to that. On goal 2, it's actively build a relevant and inclusive collection that reflects the community's diverse languages, backgrounds, and interests. So it's really about celebrating the community, all the different interests, having a wide variety of materials for everybody to enjoy. Goal 3 is about maintaining a vital collection and ensuring timely public access through efficient maintenance and processing workflows.
Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. So on goal 2,
Yeah.
how do you gauge the community's diverse interests? What indicator
Yeah,
are you using
so
for this? We need to have.
Yeah, we
looking
have.
at the events in the broad spectrum, but is there anything we're specifically?
Yeah, I think we look at developing a lot of different types of collections, looking how they're used. A lot of times it's also promoting. We often kind of have this discussion about we might have a collection that isn't necessarily circulating. Maybe it's a world language collection, and sometimes it's about where it's at, the visibility of where it's at. It might be near the back. We move that to the front, and we have had some of those conversations about that as well.
And I'm assuming that part of gauging that is just looking at what's actually being checked out. And
yeah, but I think
the interest from that. But do we survey the community? Would you like to see more of X, or is there something that's not here that you want us to have?
yeah, I can maybe queue up Erica on the community survey.
Yeah, and so we have the broad survey, but we do get very regularly purchase suggestions. So it allows the.
Unsolicited suggestions, like we would like.
Oh, we always get those.
Part of that,
So
yeah.
part of the-
When you want to look, when you go to check it out,
Yeah.
if it's not there, there's also a place to.
Yeah.
Yes, and then, we do services like ILL. While we don't get that material, we do
Have
kind of
access.
canvas of what folks are wanting. But the community mapping that we've done and some of the data, first of all, it really does show, and we're going through it now, just some of the areas where we're not reaching. So we get a lot of the responses from the card holders and all of that, but where we're not reaching and who we're not reaching. And we do, because we are connected with the neighborhoods, we hear a lot from the neighborhoods, whether that's every day or the neighborhood groups. So for sure we're trying to get more back in touch, but honestly it's activating our neighborhood branches so that we have touch points in each of the areas and then able to get that feedback to then load up to what the collection support.
I think I thought it was interesting about going to the Guadalajara International
Yeah.
Book Fair. So have you ever been there? Is this a first time?
No, we've had, a while back, when funding and things, we've had folks go at least once or twice, particularly when we had PICO staff that were fully bilingual. So now it'll be, Cecilia will be going, and she's very well versed in ordering for Spanish language collections, as she's done that in her previous roles as well. But yeah, it'll be the first time in a while, in years. I feel like
Yeah, it's been a while.
16,
Yeah. But it's been a little rough in the past years too.
Yeah.
It's a little harder. Yeah, but again, to echo we definitely have a lot of mechanisms in place where people can provide feedback. and people are very generous with their feedback and what they would like to see and would like us to get, and how fast we get things out.
It's also the combination of trends too, the things
Yeah.
that we're reading and seeing.
Yeah.
And then regionally, when we talk with our colleagues about what's happening. So I think it's a combination. More art than science,
And then, so yeah, Goal 3. Goal 3 is a lot of it is related to the mechanisms and all the back end work that's done to get books out and ordering books and getting bills paid. So there's of course a lot of work needed to do that. If you kind of looked into the library world, one of the big things that happened even the past 6 months was Baker and Taylor, this huge vendor that we use for big part of big over 90% or whatever 80% of our ordering is now gone. So we have to now source a new vendor, and Stephanie and her team have been working really hard on.
What happened to Baker and Taylor?
Gone. Yes, they went bankrupt.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're one of the major book
Yeah.
distributors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically just.
For how many years? How many
I
years?
think they said 200.
200 year history.
Another company was in the process of acquiring Baker and Taylor, but the deal fell through or got canceled or something, and then they just said,
I think all the library was like, what?
We're gone.
What do you mean? Is that real?
Yeah, issue because a lot of the medium and smaller ones are also
Yeah.
not surviving, and there's Ingram, which is the huge one.
Yeah.
When I started my career.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're still around, but yeah, it's definitely an issue.
Yeah.
So,
And I would say-
what are we
So
looking
that's,
at?
so you need to, that's who you.
Ingram, yeah, Ingram's
Ingram.
yeah. And I think it's leaving a lot of libraries in a tough position where all of a sudden, as well as I'm sure Ingram's in a tough place too to try to take on all these customers. But I would say it's the kind of thing where I think this year we kind of saw signs, but last year we couldn't have imagined this ever happening.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big change.
So I see that we're going to have a new video game collection.
Oh yeah, so I'll talk about Goal 4. So Goal 4 is adapting to changing community needs by evolving material formats and developing innovative collections beyond books. This one's especially important to me, and what I really want to push is the idea of the video game collection. The idea of we're seeing kind of diminishing returns with some collections. So CD audiobooks, for example, are not going to be checked out as much. So we're looking at reducing that collection. CDs, even I think the past year, something about Best Buy no longer carrying DVDs, so DVD media going away, Blu-ray going away. So the idea of how do we get, and of course we like our ebooks and e-media that's available online, but just this idea of how do we generate new collections that get people inside this library to be interested in coming into the library. So one of the things we've been doing is talking about different ideas, and there's book kits and toolkits, and one of the things we're looking at doing video games. And I think when we say video games, we often think, oh, kids, but actually adults, yeah, adults are the ones we're.
Is there a version of Libby for video games?
And not that I'm aware of,
Video
that'd be
games,
great, yeah.
like Harry Potter or something.
Yeah, I know that, I think one thing about streaming is,
It's huge.
as we've seen, it's huge, but also it's becoming very expensive. So now there's, everything's in cycles, right? That's like, oh, streaming is the way to go, and now it's so expensive, people want the actual physical media because they can keep it forever. So there seems to be this pattern that's coming back of physical collections. So we're hoping this video game collection,
The
Maybe
current
about
issue
games,
of
yeah.
American libraries is all about games.
yeah.
So
I mean, there's even like records, right? People are like, hey, maybe we want to check out records again, and old media, older media that's kind of gone away.
I literally would watch people play video games on Facebook. It just goes.
Yeah, right.
It's just
they make
fascinating
yeah.
just to sit there. They have really good storylines,
Yeah.
story plots. And stuff.
Yeah. One thing we've seen, we also look at, of course, circulation data. The biggest chunk of the biggest users in our database is between 35 and 55, and those are going to be people that grew up with Mario and other,
Interesting.
the other kinds of video games as part of their kind of, and to some degree, it's a lot of literary connections, right? There's books that connect to it. There's some of these video games are very involved in you're reading a story, you're going through a story, so a fantasy story or science fiction. So we're hopeful that'll be an interesting collection for the community. And I think also as a takeoff point for other types of collections, other types of things that the community might be interested in. And then goal 5 is kind of bridging the past and future. So by offering our digital collections, continue offering the digital things that we're offering, but also looking back at our local history and supporting and giving resources to making sure that our digital collections have the support they need and we have the local history archives that we have online as well.
So this is interesting, the idea of actually having the local history plan and having it be accessible out
Yeah.
with so the idea is to switch with periodicals.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about it. Maybe I know
Are we not ready
Susan.
for that? I know
Susan
it's-
Lamb is our
So we could have that.
resident.
Is that
Yeah,
the same
That'd
thing
be
as
great.
digitization? Like, is that the same thing that you're talking about? What do you call it? Digital?
digitization of
Is that
like
the same thing with local
No, I'm
history?
talking, we have a wonderful local history collection,
Yeah.
but, it's in a room and it's,
Not as accessible.
I think we'd really like to have it more accessible for
Yeah.
people to come.
in theory, the local history plan will be another document like this.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a presentation on
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Another section
That'd be
of
great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of ideas and plans around that area.
Just to go back to goal 4 in video games, but specifically AI.
I can tell we have a potential customer.
No, because there's so many bookstores about Zeus
Yeah.
and like Thor and all that. I've been watching all these like
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
mythical things that's to books. But AI,
Yeah.
are we doing anything? Is there like a Libby for AI or something where people have like a premium subscription of ChatGPT or they can
Yeah.
rent out or something?
So I will say, what I'm starting to see actually when I was at CLA, there's a vendor that does have it built into, like, so if it's like a laptop kiosk, it has it into accessibility there, and it's by like seats. We still need to understand what that is, but I think I
I don't think I heard about
I think I had mentioned it to Cecilia. So AI, yes, is being talked about in libraries and cities and library management for sure. Some of the areas that are being talked about are giving the community places to explore and play with what's happening in an environment where then they could talk with somebody who will help them, with understanding the material and what's, what is authoritative and not so authoritative. So these learning hubs, so I think I've heard from CLA just some libraries moving towards that. But yeah, yes. So yes, short answer is yes, and vendors are thinking about it.
I mean, they're also being cautious about
Yes.
all the AI slop that's being generated,
Right.
and is this book written by AI or a person, and
Yeah. So there's-
does it matter?
yeah.
Is it good or not?
And for sure, there are definitely platforms that vendors are, at least that specific one is looking at, and it wasn't ChatGPT, was other smaller ones and for various reasons, so.
I mean, I think it would be really good for the library to help people understand how to use it
Yeah.
and what the limitations are.
Yeah.
To do workshops and things like that.
Yeah, because you can update your resume. And you can do so many things with AI if you use it right.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah,
And know the types of
right.
questions and to ask.
How to ask, yeah.
Yeah, and also
Part
by
of that Tech and Tack
Tech and
task program, or?
Could be an AI version of that.
It isn't, but it is definitely a literacy that needs to be built and designed, to help the community. Although some, I know that they use a form of the training with the tutors to help with designing like lesson plans and understanding how that could be done. So they use it as a tool, but they will explain how to use that tool, and then they'll, then the literacy program specialist will be available for any questions. So that actually was one of the programs or sessions that was presented at CLA, and Tara, who's one of our program specialists, was one of the presenters to explain how she's using it with training tutors.
And then we've also talked about like I'm trying to get with our IT department like as a tool, AI as a tool to help support our reference desk or our information desk. To either quickly look, they get asked all kinds of odd questions sometimes. So as a tool to kind of start getting resources on how to answer that question. So those are the 5 goals. The next section, I'm going to hand over to Stephanie, the collection development policy updates.
This is the good evening, and this is the part, just the wording of the actual policy that's contained within this overall document. And it spells out our philosophy, approach, and values that we put into the development of our collections. It's similar to our existing policy, which was last updated in 2014. It prioritizes the acquisition of resources that reflect the diverse needs of our community, support the library's mission, and reinforce our commitment to intellectual freedom. And this, as Greco mentioned, was updated to be compliant with the California Freedom to Read Act. And the good news is the California State Library has already reviewed and accepted our policy, and we are now presenting it to you for review.
I think the last step they're asking is just once it gets posted, approved and posted, then it will be officially accepted. Okay, next slide.
Yeah. Some of you may remember, I believe, our colleague Simran presented about this a while back, but part of this whole document is the statement of concern of library material. This is a form on our website that allows patrons to express concerns about an item in our collection, but it does not allow those items to be made inaccessible or banned or removed. They can't request us to remove it from our collection. They can fill out the form to initiate a formal review and request reclassification of materials if they think it might belong in a different collection or cataloged, given an incorrect call number, something like that. But we will not remove them from our collection.
Have you received many of these?
None of the past
We
year.
have not received any with this new
That's a good metric.
form.
Yeah. But we were talking about it, and we had a meeting this morning, and there was some conversation about in the past. And I remember seeing something about like years ago, requests for reconsideration, like Saw, or the movie Saw 1, 2, and 3. I think it was like a couple of those. So, but there were some requests back then. Yeah.
And there used to be some informal requests in the youth area, for sure, but once we initiated the formal, there were less of that. Less and less.
And one of the things about the form is the person has to say that they have read the book or watched the movie. They can't just fill it out just because.
Any questions on any of those two? I'll talk a little bit about the collection development budgets. I think it's page 18 to 20. You'll see the breakdown of the collection budget. So we have it separated into 4 categories: electronic, which is going to be our e-resources, things that are the material that you'll find online, and that does include like library databases. That we also select for. Our non-print, so at this point we're looking at audiobooks, music CDs, DVDs, but maybe at some point in the future that'll be video games as well, as some of those decline. Periodicals and print. So in last year's budget was about 902,811. This past year we had to reduce it a little bit. We reduced it, I think, temporarily to try to accommodate. We've been dealing with static budget the past year or two, and even just July of this year, we were definitely getting worried about the budget and where we're at. So we did reduce it to try to balance out our staffing that we were having to deal with. The good news is, since July, we've gotten some good news, and it looks like our collection budget will be able to grow back to what it was, and hopefully beyond that. So we're definitely looking forward to expanding and growing those collections. And actually, we're really excited about that because it was looking scary for a little bit there. So we're looking at growing some of these, getting some online databases back. I think one of the things we're really looking at is regrowing our electronic resources. We've had to put some limits there and reduce a little bit to balance the budget, but I think moving forward we'll have a little bit more flexibility. Any questions on the budget?
On the bestsellers, is that fiction, nonfiction? Is that a total? I'm trying to just see how you separated that out. That first.
It's both fiction and nonfiction. We just have it, like, if you see, we also have adult books fiction and adult books nonfiction, but then we had separated out this large amount for, the super popular bestseller stuff, that we just track it separately than not super popular fiction and nonfiction. But
Curious, like, how much
it's
of that is
both.
fiction and
It
nonfiction
is,
and other categories?
I think it was about, I can't remember exactly. I feel like it was maybe 70% fiction and
Because you have, the compared, just straight fiction with nonfiction, you have a.
yeah,
which is higher,
that
so-
is-
So that's probably more best-selling,
Yeah.
best-selling fiction.
All the Patterson books.
Yeah.
All the ones people are.
Should have a Patterson line item there.
yes, for sure.
And so, in terms of allocating within the budget, is it based historically, or have you seen different changes over the past couple?
Yeah, I would say I've been looking at historically how things have been going, but also looking forward at how collections are not being used, changing. I think we're also looking at outside, in the past year, we had to look at outside factors like how is our as-needed budget doing, the people that we staff at our front desk. We definitely need those there as well, so we might have to balance some things out in the overall budget. And then I always try to see if there's an opportunity to carve out some money for something new or different that we can just see if it goes, if it grows or goes anywhere. That's where we did that video game collection a year back. So.
And how are they spread among the branches?
Do you want to talk about that?
It is a centralized budget, so
Right.
it's
Yes.
for all locations. Typically, we would order like bestsellers probably for all 5 locations, but lately for other items, of course, Maine has the largest collection and the most space. So usually, if we're only ordering one, it's for Maine, but we also order a lot for Montana and Pico because they're open full service. But now we'll be increasing Fairview and Ocean Park's
So we
copies
Yeah, so we
because
maybe move some things from Pico and Montana when those others open, or
I'm not sure if we would move like items that are already at Pico, but we might. But most likely it would just be adding to Fairview
Growing
and
it, yeah.
Ocean Park's collections.
What's the major difference between e-media selected content and e-media subscription?
They are, Libby is selected content because for that platform, our selectors choose the titles that we want to add, just like a physical item. And then subscriptions are, Hoopla is a subscription base. Like every library that gets Hoopla gets the same access to the same titles. And also the Libby magazines or digital magazines on Libby we consider that a subscription because it's a whole package.
And then we have next section is collection management process and components. This is like a kind of catch-all for all the things that we're doing to manage a collection.
Yes. Like I mentioned, it is centralized, and we have selectors, various librarians assigned to manage various collections. Like it could be a Dewey range, like nonfiction or teen graphic novels or children's fiction, like different areas, and they're assigned to select titles, weed those collections at each of the 5 locations. We on the vendor site they offer lists of upcoming publications that based on our criteria, like if you want a list for children's fiction for age 9 to 12 or something, that helps the selectors. They can get a preset list of titles and then review it to see, like, did it get a good review in professional journals? Do we need more titles on that subject? Different criteria that they use to decide on the selection. And we also get library journal and publications like that. Also, lots of community requests using our suggest for purchase form. And then the maintenance part is weeding. We have different tools that help us evaluate the collections to see what the circulation is, if there seems to be too much on one subject or not enough on another, or not enough at this location versus the other one, and we can transfer
An
them.
annual cadence, a quarterly cadence? How often is the weeding,
The
musty weeding done?
The musty weeding is definitely annual, but we have assigned a schedule for, like, I'm just giving this as an example.
100 titles, and you're only bringing 25 out a quarter, or?
Oh, to weed them?
Yeah.
It depends on that collection and the space and the use of that collection, but it could be like a number, like you're saying, but we have a schedule, like in January we're going to weed the large print, or we're going to weed the 500s, but
So you spread the process out over the year.
yeah.
I know right now they're doing a lot of weeding for those 2 branches that are gonna open up more, make room for some new books coming in.
And I assume as to increase the digital footprint, the physical footprint's been shrinking?
Sorry, what is it?
As the digital collection is increasing, the physical footprint has been decreasing, like the number of actual physical books on shelves? Or is that still increasing?
I don't know that it's decreased. We haven't really removed a lot of sections. I think I don't think we've removed like section. I know there's like a section that we kind of. I wouldn't say by much. Yeah. I think what you would see if the collection's shrinking is some of these shelves going away and other space, filling it. Yeah. I think that'd be a bigger capital expenditure to do that.
There's still,
Yeah.
people still heavily use the physical material.
Yes.
That's
Oh, no.
also something that-
I wasn't suggesting, was not suggesting that we get rid of physical books.
Yeah.
No, but then we would just have more room.
I was
Yeah.
asking if our collection of physical books was growing or shrinking.
Not, I wouldn't say it's growing. I would say we're trying to like keep it around. Yeah, maintain. Yeah.
Maintaining.
I think the collection has changed, like the how it looks like. I think it used to be a lot more like research oriented, a little bit more, and I think it's becoming more popular, more, we're seeing, like, what is the newest collection? Manga collection?
Manga.
Yeah. And that's becoming popular. And now we're also filling space. Maybe to some degree we're filling up some of the space with kits, bigger kits that would have taken place with several books. But I think there is a change in behavior over the years that we've seen, the 10 years I've been doing that. I think books are still here, and people still like reading physical books. I think there's definitely been a change in the publishing and how books get out and are created. So we're definitely cautious in looking at all that. Do you have any comments to come on this?
I was just going to say, whenever I'm telling somebody, we also have this on Libby or Hoopla, they're like, no, I want the book.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we definitely have those
yeah.
people who never want to come in. They always just want to stay online.
Yeah, there's fans of both.
Yeah, they don't even want to come in to renew their card sometimes.
Yeah. The last part. There's also a bit about gifts and donations, which we do decide, if we decide we're not going to add them to our collection, we do give them to the Friends of the Library, which supports the library in turn. Are there any other questions about the process?
Very well documented.
I think just the final part is just, this is a living document, so it'll keep changing. I think as we're writing this, I think from between like August and now, it was like, oh, big changes happened, which is the changes to libraries reopening, the collection changing, and Baker and Taylor going away, and all that happened within the span of 3 months. So it's going to keep changing. We'll hopefully keep adapting and kind of responding to the different needs. So I think when we're asked, as we're here presenting to you, we do have a couple of requests. One is to approve the revised collection development policy to align with the California Freedom to Read Act. The second is to approve the collection development plan and concept. And I mentioned earlier, it's an adaptive document that we'll keep updating. It definitely needs to be kept up over at least once every 6 months to catch up with all the different changes. And then I open up the floor to all of you if you have any other questions or comments.
Can I just comment too that this is one of the most comprehensive policies and plans that we have around collection in a while, and specifically outlining the goals and even in terms of being transparent of budget and all of that. So I think definitely kudos to the team for putting it together. So thank you for that, and hoping that you support them.
Yeah.
So where is this published? Where would it be published at?
Oh, so we put it on our website, which sometimes it's a little hard to find things, but on the policies page.
On policies.
Yeah, and we put both the plan and the policy there as well.
I would like to see the data part of the gauging the community's interest in the collection. So, like, I know last year, it's like, what's being checked out?
Oh,
any survey results? What's coming in that's being requested? Because I'm sure we're not fulfilling every request when somebody says, "I want this book and it wasn't there, please buy it."
Yeah.
So I would be curious, because I'm pretty fluent in the demographics of Santa Monica as far as the age breakdown, and ethnicity, and income, and you can draw inferences from that. But my personal history is trying to draw inferences from just demographic information leads big holes.
Yeah. I know
we are biases.
Yeah, we definitely, in terms of the circulation, I think we can see what's being checked out. I think that's we don't necessarily have this who's checking.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Although we do have, like,
That's my
each-
point.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
is that you know what is being checked
Yeah.
digitally and physically. We know that, like what, I'd be curious to see what the top 10 items in circulation
Yeah.
are, period. And then
Yeah.
just for my own edification as library board member, is like, is it, people my age checking out biographies, or is it popular fiction, like the bestsellers, or is it, we actually are mostly, given what we just discussed at the last board meeting I was at, kids' books, because primarily being activated by young moms, and so
Yeah.
it's mostly children's books. So I'd be curious to see what the actual volume of activity has been by the categories.
I feel like that would be great to share that publicly. Just to see data points.
I mean, as far as
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, you
putting
could probably look at
transparency
that
on
in-
the,
yeah.
what is the community like?
Right, because you
What
probably.
they do is
look
one of
at
those
that
indicators, right?
all the time as you, it's
What was it called that we saw a year or two ago, that report?
Is it the impact report?
Annual
Was it
report?
it's just in the,
The
oh, is
annual
this an
report.
annual report?
I mean, that's
Oh,
in the
okay.
top 5 titles
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
at each
Okay.
of the areas.
We are, I think in the January newsletter, or in January, we'll be publishing in some fashion the top 10 checked out titles this
For 2020.
Calendar, yeah.
year,
Calendar
yeah, of adult fiction, adult nonfiction, kids, teens. But that is interesting, like
You break it up by
who's
digital.
checking what out, basically.
Well, so are you requesting that we move to approve this tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
Erica?
so,
Yeah.
well, I'll make a motion to approve the revised collection development policy and also the collection development plan in concept.
Second.
Okay, Member Meister has, bless you. Member Meister has motioned to approve the collection development policy and collection development plan, seconded by Member Cody, and I will conduct a roll call vote. Chairperson Newman,
Yes.
Member Meister,
Yes.
Member Cody,
Yes.
Member Spears.
Yes.
The motion passes 4-0. Great work,
Thank you
guys.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much for your
Wonderful work.
support.
That's very well documented.
This is great, yes.
I want to know about some video games too.
Yeah, we'll tracking
Very
that.
soon.
And then to kind of, you were asking some questions about, I think we can definitely come back on some circulation related stuff. Might be a different set of group, people in here with me though. Yeah.
Just curious.
That's with the collections, technology, and patron services. We also have a tech plan, and then I guess we might need to leave a circulation plan.
Great.
Thanks, good to see you.
Thank you all. Very nice to see everybody again.
Nice
And
to see you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks.
Okay, now we're going to move on to discussions of the realignment plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I can.
Oh, yeah.
Slides.
They are not in the document.
I know
however.
they're
Yeah.
not.
All right.
Okay.
They're-
But
They're
Erica
more
will
used
present
for
them.
talking points, I should say. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Oh, my God.
I know Barnes and Nobles used to have, they told us a lot of key points about who checks out what, and they had a lot of data as well that was very, they were very
What you buying?
interesting.
Folding
What type of books are normally sold at that specific
I
Santa
don't even know where
Monica.
that is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Party,
it's been
party,
old.
Erica.
It's really old. Oh, there it is. Okay.
That was quite a meeting, huh, that they went through that plan. Didn't it go really, really late?
The board meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Council meeting.
Oh, council
council
meeting,
meeting,
yes.
Yes, I was there. Yes.
You got home at 2 a.m. or something crazy?
Was it the Dr. meeting?
It was not true.
Are there any city council that
Not
ends
as
like
rewarding.
like before 10 now?
What?
Are there any city council meetings that actually end before 10? Is it
Not
usually
that I
that
know
long?
of.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a council meeting.
All right, okay. I'm just going to show you 4 slides, and they really are more like talking points because we talked about this with our staff this morning, but wanted to give you updates on this plan. So as you all know, October 28th, City Council approved the realignment plan, and that is something that is, that's happening citywide. The realignment and reinvestment into some core services, as well as planning, ramping up some events and services for the future. We're all wrapped up in that plan. The focus are in the areas of restoring safe and clean Santa Monica, not just, what we've talked about with public safety, but, public safety, yes, but making sure there are visible changes, particularly in the downtown area. So that includes public safety, like having a substation now at Santa Monica Place, having more patrols and additional members for the homeless liaison program, the help team, and also public works, doing a lot more power washing, cleaning, tree trimming, all of that. Focus on the downtown area, but of course spreading out beyond that as well. Reactivating the economy, so that is where the library falls under, because the belief is when you invest and reinvest in some or a lot of the core services that our community has been able to take part in and take advantage of, that also will help with reactivating the community. More people will be out and about, visiting their local libraries, maybe, walking down the way to their neighborhood other stores and small businesses. So that's where we are. And then overall building organizational health. So really acknowledging kind of what the city and the staff have been through these past 5 years, particularly since 2020, and also trying to build back some of that trust, as well as investment into the staffing. So if you did see the plan, there were, I can't remember the exact number, but over 60 or 70 positions that will be added back into the staffing across all of the departments. And again, it is that acknowledgement that, the people who work here matter, and it's so weird. And we want to make sure that we have the right folks and the right amount of folks to cover our services. And then the last is emphasizing the shared values. This you may hear quite a lot, if not more, from the city manager and the leaders about the 4 core values that the department head team, along with the city manager, talked about and confirmed and reaffirmed when we had our meeting in August. So we had a retreat in August. So humility, putting the needs of team and community over oneself, integrity, making sure that we're doing the work openly and honestly, motivation, getting back to the city that we know that is innovative and motivated to do more, be more, and be leaders in the different fields that we're experts in, and of course all of that being encompassed in the idea of caring for one another, our colleagues, our community, and doing and delivering our services with that type of care. So that was all reviewed And it was approved at City Council, and so how does it affect the library? So effectively in January, we are confirming and figuring out, and we'll know probably that date, looking like more like mid-January, mid to late January. We'll know that in the next couple of weeks as the team confirms all of the coverage and the scheduling. But Fairview and Ocean Park will go to full service 3 days a week, and then effective July, Fairview, Ocean Park, and Montana will be 4 days a week. We will, in addition, be part of the winter closure, so library will be closed December 22nd to January 4th, reopening January 5th. That is both, again, for purposes of the staff, but also to really prepare for when we open in January. So we're doing a lot of work beforehand, a lot of recruitments, all of that, and so, balancing it with some breaks. And so those are kind of the three big areas where we will be involved in addition to really talking with the departments on how we can help them. So there may be spaces, there may be educational opportunities where some departments like economic development are ramping up their support for local businesses. How can library be a partner in that? And so we are absolutely at the table and talking about how we might be able to help. So, okay, so January, this is what it will be looking like. In the red will be the changes. As you all know, Ocean Park and Fairview have been open 2 days a week, self-service. So now that will be converted into full service, and we're adding an extra day. So for Ocean Park, it is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that we will be open full service. And then for Fairview, it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday open full service. With that change, the staffing enhancements that we were able to get approved, one new librarian 1, library assistant 2, library assistant 3, library program specialists for literacy, and part-time hours for library assistant 2 and library page. So this is all, we do have some formulas that we use when we're trying to look at staffing and staffing models and what needs to get covered. And so we use that, and then we propose this along with the July scenario of the types of staffing and types of staff that we needed in order to cover this. And of course, we're still in a centralized model, which means that a bulk of the services and the training happen at Maine, and then we have a core group that work in the branches. But what that enables us to do is that we will often rotate folks from Maine into the branches, whereas before we used to have just full staff at each of the branch, kind of all separately operating. So now we're more centralized, which is good. Any questions on this in January? Yeah.
I'm just curious about the schedule, why there's still some self-service at Montana.
So Montana is a hybrid. It's our only hybrid. So it's open regular hours from 12 to 8, and we expanded the hours 10 to 12. So the 10 to 12 were to see how we would use both a self-service and a full service model together, in hopes that, and this we've had for months now, and I think it's not as, people don't use it as much in the 10 to 12 time, but it also gives a chance for the staff to see how you kind of will move from self-service to full service, so that in the future, if we want to do that at the other branches and add hours, that might be a way of doing it. So again, we don't want to let go of that self-service technology. We know that it has worked for some, even though people prefer to be with staff and have staff there. But so that's what we're looking at. Is that
you think you'd have more traffic possibly at that particular branch location to test that out, or
which Fairview and Ocean? Montana.
It's just Montana, right? that-
Yes. Yeah, so we're not, so the reason why is this is already in place. We're not changing anything
Okay.
for what we have existing. What we're doing is we're opening the doors to the others.
I see.
So we're not going to try and like hybrid until we know how it is full service, and then we will add it back.
So this is, so the previous size was January?
Yes, this is July, sorry.
This is
because
July,
it
and the
keeps
only change
sleeping.
for July is
Adding a,
adding some days
Yeah.
at the 3 other branches.
Mhm.
I'm just curious, why are we closed on Friday at the Main?
because in order to operate Maine a full extra day, it costs the same as operating 3 of the branches. So it's a money issue.
And
Mm-hmm.
is there a reason why Ocean Park and Fairview wouldn't be switching one of the days to Saturday?
So at this moment, because we have a bulk of the staff working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, shifting and being able to shift would cost differently because again, we operate, even though we're centralized, right? So even though it says these are the days, we have team that's working Monday through Saturday, right? So even though Friday Maine is not open, we have 3 now locations. We had 3 locations before, but 2 were self-service, right? But now there'll be 3 locations that are full service. So balancing that
Yeah.
with still the number of staff is again
Right,
this
I
will
understand.
this will put us up to 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 80, 85 plus FTE. 85 plus FTE, which would be around 115, 120 bodies. We were before functioning at 113 FTE with almost 200 bodies. So it's still a matter of
Right, yeah.
people
I
and
understand.
coverage. But
Just my other question, because
Yeah.
pre-COVID, everything was, you had 6 days a week for the branches and 7 days a week for Maine?
yes, hmm
That was the coverage model?
yes.
Okay.
What we're moving towards, though, at this point, is 6 days a week for Maine. So
Right,
eventually opening the Fridays, and 5 days a week for the branches.
so, yes, which would, get to the Saturdays.
Yeah,
And-
but
and
not
I-
without
I mean, that's
additional.
in the, yeah. So I'm just curious, this will be a new budget for this year, correct?
For July.
For 26?
It's already been approved
This has been
for
approved, yeah.
for
No, but I'm
July.
talking about for the citywide budget. This is a
It's
budget?
exception based.
Oh, it's okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then the opportunity will be the next, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I get it.
So what was approved with a realignment plan is the next 18 months.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, that makes sense if, if you only have, enough staff to do the weekdays.
And I would say-
Because the main is open on
Yeah.
Saturdays, so.
Yeah,
you
so-
have that
So I think,
available.
yeah, that's the other piece of it. When we were looking at funding for Maine, and because we were already open, we had to be open Monday through Thursday, and we were running numbers, and we were running kind of like where it would make most impact. The Saturday
Yes.
one, absolutely, over the Friday. And so Friday is kind of the last day where we'll be looking to reinstate funds and staff.
Right.
So is this like 80, 85% back to pre-COVID? As far as just hours everywhere.
The hours are not 85%, and remember too, right? Like that, we're talking about 2020 numbers and pricing of operations and staffing. So it just exponentially jumps every year. So even though we're getting more of the bodies back, what you get for that amount is different, or how much it costs to operate is more and different. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's fantastic that this
Yeah.
has happened.
So you're in the process of hiring new staff.
We are, so we have a number of, retirements plus new staff. So, we're anticipating vacancies, and what we've, talked with staff about is that January, February, March is going to be messy. Like, Cecilia and I joke, but it's true. We will be going back to be some type of branch manager during certain days if needed. Everybody's all hands, and really supporting the branches where they're needed, and maybe even working from the branch versus working here, so that we can support in that way.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm excited.
I think so. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Good first step.
Good first step. I know, every time I look at Dan, it's like, but yes, and then, okay, what's next? Open the doors. January to June, we will be, assessing, piloting, reassessing, implementing services, and really just getting a feel back for all 5 locations open all at once, which, is, it's baby steps. It's 3 days, but also staffing-wise, it's helpful because a lot has changed in 5 years, and really taking the time to reacquaint ourselves and see who is new in the community, what they're needing, maybe piloting some things. I told the staff this is the time to try some things out. We don't have to do what we have always been doing or had done. We have an opportunity here to really figure out what our next steps are in the future, and community mapping will help us with that. We're still doing that. We just had to pivot because we were trying to figure out opening doors. But we are going to be applying what we've learned, really looking at the data. I've got some preliminary information on it, and when we're ready, we will, present to the board, and there will be a report out to our community once that's ready. And we're also getting ready to close up and have our impact report done for 24-25. So likely next month I'll be talking with you about that, and we'll have material to share with you.
Great.
Yeah.
And then with the additional staff and hours, I imagine that some of the programming will be expanded as well. You'll be looking at
Yes.
in connection with community mapping.
Yes,
feedback.
that's the hope. I think right, priority short term, open the doors, start piloting things, and then infusing and integrating programs and services back into the operations of the branches. But that will take, probably the next 6 to 9 months. And then July will be another change. So I feel like this next year will be a lot of start, pause, try, come back, start again, and then really get into it probably summertime to fall.
Would it be a good idea to go back to the neighborhood groups just to share some good news with them instead of sharing calls to action? Like, hey, update from getting the branches open. You may have already heard them. I mean, the news is already out there, right? I mean, Susan and other people have been announcing it in public forums, and it's in newspapers and it's being discussed. But I would love to go back to Noma and Wilmot and say, hey, you called it the last time I talked to you. And
Yeah,
What
no,
would that
I
mean?
think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, your whole group that we fired up around Fairview was really happy about this, and so it is really nice to be able to be positive.
Yeah.
Well, I happily volunteer myself to go to Wilmot.
Yeah, and we'll have some.
Are
Are most still virtual or no in person?
Wilmot's always virtual, virtual except for their annual meetings. Everything's actually
Oh, that's
coming up.
happening soon.
And then
It'll
And
be
it
at
was always the
one
same
time?
thing, except that exceptional one they had.
Yeah,
School.
okay.
Yeah, I get Ocean Park, we weren't there,
They're in person, yeah.
Fairview's still online,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Or,
okay.
I don't know, yeah, I think what the others are online. Or I can say that Jason went to those.
Yeah, I'll be sure to also, once it's published, we can send you the PDF of our impact report. Some good stories in there about what we've.
That might be that might be good to share that
Yeah.
information.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that report, and now we will ask for your secretary report.
I feel like that is the bulk and focus of the report.
There you go.
But yes, many things as usual.
It's been a good 30 days.
It has, and very quick. I feel like I've been in many meetings discussing. So, here, I'm not going to read all of it, but for sure, the citywide book discussion, the Hispanic Heritage Month staff book discussion was a success. United Against Hate Week Poetry. We had students submit original poems, and our poet laureate join in, and that also, Anne as our poet laureate has been phenomenal. It's open back again for the next 2 years for a poet laureate, and I think I mentioned before, but I've been so fortunate to have Anne, and she'll be part of the process to get a new poet laureate, and we are looking forward to really another exceptional couple of years. And adult literacy has been hard at work. They have been having tutor training after tutor training. They've certified 8 new volunteers. They continue to develop the trainings, and there is just such a demand for tutors so that they can create tutor-learner pairs. So they continue to do that. Part of why we have that the program specialist for literacy is so that we can ensure that we can keep that program consistent. As you know, that is part of a grant that we have at the state library, and depending on what happens, we didn't want to lose either our the literacy program, the adult literacy, or the ESL program, and so that will help cement that. We've got, let's see, new collections, which we said, the video gaming, we have the jazz and the crochet, and again, what we're definitely, what we see is that need to connect in different ways, whether that's through beginner crochet, listening to music, and I think that that's what you'll see more, particularly in the neighborhood and branch activations and programs, hopefully more of that, and the idea of co-designing with the community. So it doesn't have to be something completely produced by the staff. If there are community members that we have created a relationship with because of community mapping or for other, past partnerships, we want to be able to be open to trying things out with them and partnering with them. And then the Friends. Yeah, so the November meeting is canceled. There is going to be a meeting in December. And you're giving me a look.
Oh, why?
Yes. So Rachel is not going to be available, who is the sitting president
Right.
of the Friends. If there is a possibility to meet, I can ask her, but she also was going to get in contact with those who are interested in helping the Friends around fundraising efforts.
Okay.
As not part of maybe that meeting, but a side meeting. Yeah. Yep. So that's happening. I just visited their friends this afternoon, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of donations, and the volunteers are hard at work and really going through a lot of books, CDs, DVDs, records, and they have actually been selling a lot of the media and the AV stuff that they thought they would not be able to sell. So it's successful. I know that they're, with the 2-week closure, it's usually the holiday week where at least one of the weeks they'll get, a lot of foot traffic, but historically those 2 weeks for us have been fairly quiet, so I think hopefully they'll be able to just recoup it back in January. And that's it. Any questions on Secretary's report? Thank you.
And one more report from you, Erica, the library board, the library board annual report that we submitted.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, right?
This is definitely the staff.
I didn't do too much.
I think what's in front of you is the proposed submission that outlines our accomplishments, as well as the work plan, which aligns with what our priorities are. And so this is a good time to kind of review. If you want to take a few minutes to review, and then we can, if there aren't any edits or questions. The actual, I think, review and report is slated for council in January. So we just wanted to make sure we got this in and submitted.
Okay. And do you have a deadline for submission, or do we have a deadline for submission?
We're supposed to have
They
it.
changed it.
Before the,
They changed it. Let me see what the last email said. 'Cause I think it was like now, but then, but then I
they
heard,
moved it.
yeah, I heard they moved it, but I don't think I was updated on that.
I would say,
Yeah, the last notice I got was that it was due Thursday, but I think it's probably due in January or like maybe next
no, it
month.
would need to be December, because it takes that amount of time to get into the flow of the system of the staff report. But they also need to put it together. So I think as soon as possible, if we can get it approved. If you think we need another, some time and want to wait until December, but it would be good to get any questions answered, or at least.
it's basically the same format from last year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No additions.
I think if there's anything that isn't here that you do want to focus on next year or highlight, actually it's like this year, because we're like halfway through the year. Mhm.
I don't have any immediate edits.
No,
No,
very
this is
thorough.
really-
It's
yeah.
very- Yeah, it's very well done.
Comprehensive. The only thing that came to my mind, and I can't remember where we left with this, was around having a liaison with the city council. I guess they kind of never really
They said no.
wanted to have a
No,
liaison.
we formally asked, and
Yeah,
they
we
said,
did ask.
and they specifically said, that's a nice idea, we're not going to do that
Oh, they
program.
formally said no?
Yeah, they said no.
They discussed it and said, you don't need
So my
one.
next question would be like, if it, if and when a new council forms, if we want to, pursue that, we ask the new members.
Because I thought
Ask-
we had
ask
a
the neighbors.
specific person at first, and then she didn't rerun or something.
Right.
That's right.
And then we
That's right.
resubmitted.
Oh, we
and they said
resubmitted
no.
it. Ah.
And they just said no. They didn't even say anything. They
I
just
didn't
said
know
no.
that.
That's
Wow.
right. That's
I was,
They didn't want more work for themselves.
yeah, so.
And maybe they just don't, want, they figure then all the boards and commissions
that-
are going to
that's-
want,
yes.
and that's more
That's too
involvement.
much work for them.
Right, so I'm assuming that, it's not an open door with this particular council.
This is considered good, though, right?
Maybe we could, if there's an interest, I mean, we do have something kind of general in here already.
Right, about briefing
you
council
know,
members, I think.
Yeah, engage with city council and.
So do you
what
usually,
exactly encompass.
in January, do we usually redo for next year?
That's this.
Oh, that's for this.
That's what this is.
Oh.
It's a little bit late.
Oh, I thought it was from this year.
Well, we say our accomplishments from last year.
Ah.
It sort of
24,
sums up
25,
the
and
prior
25
year,
present.
and then it says what we intend to focus on
Got
over the
it.
year. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, I
need,
think
do you need a
this is-
formal adoption by us, or is, do we?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I move that this is the document we will submit.
I second that.
Okay, member Cody has
As
moved.
constructed, currently constructed.
Member Cody has moved to approve the library board annual report, seconded by Member Meister, and I will now conduct a roll call vote. Chairperson Newman,
Yes.
Member Meister,
Yes.
Member Cody,
Yes.
Member Spears.
Yes.
And the motion carries 4-0, and the library annual report is approved, and we'll send that in.
Great.
Awesome.
And thank you very much. You guys did
Yeah,
having listened
yeah,
there.
it's very good.
Appreciate it. Okay, we are going to move on to our discussion items. The first being the ad hoc committee update from the Exploring Library Revenues ad hoc committee.
Well, I guess first comment is the new plan is the new plan. Judith and I met with Oliver, and I think we've basically expressed what we've discussed here as a board, which is we want the libraries open, we want the budget restored, and that this is a good first step, but not an endpoint.
Right, and I mean, you brought up, how can we sustain this, and,
Yes.
he didn't have any, but
I think he was open.
Yeah.
This is what I took away. We talked about how Pasadena does it, how different jurisdictions have dedicated funding sources for the library, how the future is uncertain and there are sure to be future events that will impact the city's budget, and that we still need to explore how we preserve the library from such a egregious cut, because even this lovely first step, we're still, we don't have
It's
branches
just
open,
right.
we don't have staffing, or
just,
to use your point, the whole got a little shallower, but the forces of inflation. So he didn't, I didn't think that he was adverse to continuing to explore different ways. I'm going to follow up with one of the board members from, and I don't remember her name off the top of my head, from the CLA conference that I attended in Riverside, which was pretty much the same as last year's CLA as far as the advocacy track, et cetera. And energy was good. But in the meeting, the gentleman who presented, the Pasadena director, presented the whole Pasadena initiative again to everyone, and got another enthusiastic reception from people in the room. But I discussed kind of what we were looking at Santa Monica. One of the people come up to me and say, "Hey, do you guys have a library assessment district?" So it's effectively a dedicated funding source for libraries, but it's not like the Pasadena parcel tax. It's not a general obligation bond issue. It's kind of like the business improvement districts that get money for like Main Street and Montana, et cetera, but it was for the library. So it's kind of in many jurisdictions it's called the library assessment thing. But it's not a parcel tax, and it's so I need to understand that structure. I told her it's like I don't understand this.
Right,
I was like, where is it? Yeah,
Right.
it is statutory. But
Is it a special district, you mean?
yeah,
Okay, so special district means that it is not necessarily under the city.
The city or the county.
So everything
its own
runs
thing.
itself. So
like,
Altadena
you have a
is a special
school.
district. Palos Verdes is a special district, and it's run by Board of Supervisors, which means it completely, like, so at least I know for Altadena, everything is in-house. HR, finance, all of that needs to be in-house in the library, which has pros and cons.
I just would like,
Yeah, it would be
I
good
volunteer
to-
myself to just
It would be
understand the
good to
structures better.
understand what that is, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And I
that's
told her I
what
would
it is.
follow up with her,
Yeah.
because she was interested in what we were doing, like, really, that's and what Pasadena does.
Where was she from, do you recall?
I don't, I'm horrible with names. And I'm horrible with names, and I'm ignorant of California geography.
But that would
So
be
I
good
need
to.
to follow up with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the.
Is there still interest or exploration around getting on the ballot?
No, I mean, I think the city itself is thinking about a parcel tax, or maybe, I mean, the school, I think the
Schools are
school,
in their
still-
separate
that's
thing,
still,
yeah.
but, I mean, I think the city's still, in this financial,
I'm interested, and that's what I expressed all over. It's like
Yes.
we need something, we need some ballast in the library budget to withstand the gales of future financial crises. The fact that, here, this is just me being realistic, we haven't gotten an attorney to draft any special language yet. That if we were going to do it, we would have needed to collect
Oh, we would,
signatures
yeah,
like
yeah.
now.
No, I think
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I think the ship sailed for this
Yes.
Yeah,
coming
but that's
election.
for 20,
It's
26
too much
November
for-
26th, I think is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the city would, I mean, I think that's why he did fund the libraries and the
I'm not-
realigning,
I'm
but
not-
they didn't
I
want
think-
us to do a parcel
Right,
tax.
I think there was, actually, I'm going to
That's
get,
actually a good.
Maybe
Yes,
we
I
zeroed
think
it
that,
in.
no, I think it was good that,
Yeah.
because I know from the school people, when they went, they met with him, and I was told that he said he doesn't want the library to do a parcel tax, and he said, well, maybe I have to include that in my plan, and so that he did.
Yeah, no, it's kind of interesting, 'cause I mean, when I first heard about it, yeah, under the, economic
Yeah.
category,
Right,
I
it's
was
like,
like, interesting. It does
because
feel
we
kind
always
of
been
like,
saying public safety, like the library,
Right.
yeah, we've been saying that.
it
but-
does feel kind of like,
but-
okay, we'll just.
But I think he
So
figured
that
out,
was, maybe that was,
Yeah, I think it was
useful
good.
leverage.
oh,
Sort
I
of,
believe that it really was.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, my understanding of it is, it's quite an involved process, and you have to kind of raise money to raise the money.
Yes.
And so having a longer on-ramp to do all of that would make sense, to do more research and really think through, so. Okay. And I think it's really productive that you're having meetings, directly with him. And
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, it took about 2 months to get the meeting, because he was so busy meeting with people. But he's very open to talking to anyone, which is wonderful, so, yeah, but we can continue to meet with him. I mean, he's just such a nice guy. He's very nice. I mean, and he really, he's very supportive of you. He was really,
yes, he spoke highly of
Very
our
highly,
excellent director,
yes.
and we affirmed his astuteness.
well deserved. Wonderful. Okay. And now, any other questions or comments on that one? On that topic? Okay. Our last item is the Community Mapping Initiative Ad Hoc Committee.
So, that.
you and Jason? Who's on that committee?
Yeah, that's Jason and I.
Jason,
Oh.
yes.
And, yeah, I guess we're sort of at a pause point while you're digesting everything that you've completed so far.
So the next phase will be the looking at the data, getting the common themes, and figuring out how that will then be communicated back to the community. But there is a lot of rich data there. What's interesting is, at least just from initial pass-through, for sure, like I said, in terms of the survey itself, mostly folks who are card holders who visit the library, and so there's more in there to thinking about what is not being said, what's not being reflected, and I think that's also part of that data analysis phase, and that might be, where we will need, or we could use some help or support to going back out to talk to others.
How long is that process going to take? Because my only kind of concern is my hope will be that we've got in the early part of Q1 of next year be able to go back to the groups the way we went and said, hey, we really need you to participate in this community mapping exercise with us, and give them some feedback on the insights gleaned.
Yeah, so I think it's not like we're going to wait or withhold what we get initially and then go. So what we'll do is we'll give that report, and then while we're doing that, try and set up engaging in.
But I know the focus right now is, hey, we get to open up branches.
Yes.
It's like all hands on deck to figure out how to get that done.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we had time for the first
analysis.
I
think a lot of us are, let's get through January and then see where we are in February. But administratively, we are also putting together the pieces so that we're not waiting for whole teams to do it.
Is there anything we as a board can do to be helpful in that process?
Let me get back to you in December.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think actually it's not, again, this might not be where we involve all the people, in terms of staffing. So we might actually have more definitive information in December, even before January.
And it also sounds like part of, the next step is to figure out how to reach people who don't use the library, which is really, So, different. And I think there are different groups to visit. That neighborhood groups are one, but those are typically people who would be using their libraries.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other organizations and groups.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we will follow up on this, allowing for time for the staff to.
Yeah, we might be able to develop some recommendations in December. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I
All
just
right.
have, I don't see new business on here as an agenda item.
Oh, yeah, no.
But we're, with the Friends, on Tuesday we are hosting the Imagination Library representative and others who are interested in participating in the, whatever they're calling the coastline district of LA County, to like that. Any and all are welcome. 10 a.m.
So
on
light up.
Tuesday. So we talked about how we're trying to get Imagination Library active in LA County. Because it's a county-based program. And LA County's so big, we've sliced and diced, or the Imagination Library can slice and dice LA County up. I think the 8 districts. The district of which we are in. We are going to host an information meeting with other community groups here at the library on Tuesday at 10 a.m. And I've started only because through other friends have some stuff we presented at the Friends Library Board meeting, and they generously said, yes, absolutely, we participate, and so the Friends will have a representative there. And then I'm knocking on Fiona Ma's door and trying to get an introduction to Tracy Park, who is the LA West Side person. And then I was disappointed that none of the supervisor's offices responded to any inquiries on childhood literacy, and I kind of just I was confused that a board that was all female for the first time in LA history, and there wasn't any interest from
Who
any.
did you reach out to in
Lindsay Horvath, and they reached out to all the
Oh, they
supervisors.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a countywide program.
Program,
and
that's
it's
it.
they are LA County.
Oh,
It's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I'm on the beach commission, so I know some of the staff.
Okay.
I could.
If you've got a staff member, if there's a specific staff member, we can make and Manisha Braithwaite is the California executive director for the foundation, and she's just knocking on everybody's door. I mean, but she covers the entire state, so
Right.
she's doing.
Because Lindsay's communication person was our communication person
Oh,
here,
okay.
and I'm sure she would be.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I'll email you if you can make a warm introduction for
Yeah.
Manisha. Like I said, we're hosting. I'm trying to. I would think Tracy Park would want to be involved, and a couple of the organizations you already know that we talked about will hopefully be there. We'll see what kind of audience we get.
Oh, good. Well, that's.
And like I said, everybody here is welcome. It's Tuesday at 10. But
Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Next Tuesday?
this coming Tuesday at 10 a.m. here.
Here at the library.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I would love to attend on this.
Yeah,
But
no worries.
thanks for letting us know about
Yeah.
that, and please keep us posted on
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Future
I know.
developments.
It's just, to me, it looks like a feeder system to the Santa Monica Library.
Yeah.
Get young readers and get them.
Yeah. No,
Give them a book and they'll
Yeah,
come
no,
back out there.
good for you for moving forward on that. That's great.
We'll see.
That's great, that's great.
Baby steps, apparently.
Well, and tomorrow, just an updates. Tomorrow, the library is receiving a Community History Award from the Santa Monica Conservancy
Yes.
for the oral history red kit. So Erica and Karen and Susan's coming. Susan doesn't want to come up to. Well, maybe we can convince her to come up on stage.
She doesn't want to come up. She's joking. She wants to.
I'm coming from another meeting in Palos Verdes, so I may be late.
What did you say?
I'm coming from another meeting
Oh.
in Palos Verdes
Oh.
and driving over,
Oh,
so I may be
gosh.
late. I'm not sure what time.
Well, the reception's from 4:30 to 5:30. So the program starts at 5:30 or something.
Okay,
Oh,
that's good to know.
Well,
that's
you
actually-
think you can make it?
Yes, by.
It's supposed to rain.
No, I think the rain is starting tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Like overnight?
We hope, because part of this is outside. The food's
Oh,
at Miles Playhouse.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
did you get? Did they
Yes.
give you information
Yes.
about where to
Yes.
park and stuff like that?
Oh, they just told us we were on there we were reserved, or there's a space spot for us.
Oh, yes.
But in terms of parking, I figured.
Can you use St. Monica's parking lot?
Yeah, we're using
Yeah.
St. Monica.
Okay, okay.
But,
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to come so far.
no, it's okay.
Congratulations to the library.
Yeah, it's wonderful to the
Congratulations
library.
on that.
So the Friends put an ad in the program, and I put an ad in just because I'm a
Thank
member
you.
of the Conservancy, just on behalf of the board.
Oh, thank you.
That's great.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
so nice.
That's great.
Thanks.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay. Unless there are any other comments or questions, we can adjourn the meeting at 7:36.
Wonderful.
Here we go.
Oh, very
I got nervous at first. I thought it was
I
8:30.
know.
Oh, I can't get up there.